Welcome to the Verdin Verdict Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Verdin. G, what's up, man? How you doing?
What it do?
Got some topics for you today. Deion Sanders clears the air. A lot of people are wondering, is he going to step down? Is he going to retire? Is coaching in the rear view for Coach Prime? But he silenced everything. Did you get to check that press conference out?
Yeah, I for sure got to check it out with him and his medical team and saw how emotional he got. I had no idea he had 14 surgeries
Me neither.
going all the way back to when he was the head coach at Jackson State. I didn't know he was dealing with cancer. All I remember is the blood clots and his toe getting amputated. So this is something they must have been keeping under the wraps for some time now. Getting his bladder removed. I'm just glad he cured, bro. And I know he said he lost 26 pounds and he trying to gain his weight back and stuff like that. You know, it says a lot about him to still want to coach,
It
even
does.
with his sons not being there anymore. Because I thought for sure this press conference was going to be something to the nature of him saying, you know, he was stepping down. And so I think Prime is one of those guys that he knows that if he steps away from coaching and is in the house all day, he'll get to the point where number one, I think he'll miss the game. Number two, I think he feels like his body will start shutting down. So I'm glad to see that he's gonna keep coaching, and I hope this inspires his team, man. I hope they have a good year.
Yeah, and to summarize some of the medical issues that they were talking about, they said that he had a tumor in his bladder, had to remove that, said he's cancer free now. So glad he's doing well. Obviously, prayers still with him. Hopefully, everything goes well. But before the press conference came out, me and you kind of talked about it a little bit too. The rumors, the rumor mill buzz, and everybody thinking he's stepping down. And for him to take the complete opposite approach, I feel like that's Coach Prime, baby. He's a living embodiment of like perseverance, resilience. And I feel like he's going to go out there, set a good example, and just try to be, you know, I'm not gonna say the David Goggins of college football coaching, but man, if you can rebuild this program, especially without the top talent that you lost, the Travis Hunters, the Shedeur Sanders, obviously Shiloh, I feel like then there ain't really much else he can't do in this regard. So it'll be interesting to keep following that and keep watching that. I thought maybe like worst case scenario, he was gonna go to another team. He wasn't feeling Colorado no more, but it looks like that's gonna be his spot. I don't know if he's gonna depart or try to go on a different journey. I don't know. I thought he might take a bigger job. And initially, whenever he went over there, I didn't think that was going to be his final destination. But I mean, I don't know. As the days stack, I kind of feel like this is going to be his final spot. What do you think about that? You think he's going to stay at
Nah, I
Colorado?
don't.
Or?
Nah, I don't think Colorado will be his final stop for sure.
I thought that this would be his opportunity to kind of spread his wings and fly. Like if he wanted to do it, I thought he would have done it now. Now I'm kind of wondering, like, how much time does he even have left, and is there enough to like kind of stay 2-3 years here, then go 2-3 years in another spot? Like in my head, I just thought his time's kind of running out, and it's gonna be his last dance. But
I mean, you talking like he old, like Nick Saban. I mean,
no,
I think I
I
think
just
Prime. I think
wonder.
he would be 52, 53.
He's definitely under 60, but I feel like this kind of thing don't really wake you up, but it's like it puts things into perspective, like in terms of being around your family, in terms of leaving a legacy. Like I don't know, I feel like getting that close to it, it might be. I'll give him about 5 years max. That's what I would say.
Man, Prime gonna coach until he can't coach no more, bro. I'm
Until he's
telling
out
you.
there, they're wheeling him out there,
He
huh?
don't have. Listen, you gotta understand. He don't have little kids running around in the house right now. If he go home, it's just gonna be him and his girl. I know he's not married to the previous woman. I think he got like a girlfriend right now. Or maybe he might be engaged still. I can't remember the story, but it's just gonna be him and her in the house and every day. He don't want to live his life like that, bro. He want to have something to keep him going. He want to be able to look forward to things. I do not think Colorado will be his last stop. I can promise you, if Mike Norvell doesn't have a great season at Florida State, which I think Florida State is in trouble this year. I think they could have a 6-win, maybe a 5-win season, bro. I really think when you look at their roster and the people they brought in and the guys that's returning and the guys that left, I think Florida State could be in big trouble this year. And if Mike Norvell gets fired, which would be crazy because he just went undefeated the year before last, but you know that's been the rumors going around that he could be let go at season's end if they don't have a good year. Prime will be one of the top candidates for that job. You know, that's his alumni. You know, he went to Florida State and he would take that job. I just could not see him not taking that Florida State job, bro. I just, all the ties he got in Florida. his roots. I just can't see him doing it. I can't see him not doing it. So, and I think if any other big time blue blood school were to open up, he would definitely give it a listen.
Yeah, I think there's a hindering factor though. It's it depends on how, in my opinion, it depends on how this era or journey at Colorado is going to end, because it hasn't really been breathtaking. Like they've had the bowl appearance. Obviously, they lost the bowl game. If this year you go out and you even have a 500 season and get a I don't know, Big Beans Bowl or something, it'll be worth noting in Colorado. But like if y'all go out and only win 6 games, do you think that kind of makes big schools, the blue bloods, your Florida States, whatever the case may be, does that kind of make him get off his case a little bit? Because I mean, in this Big 12, like there's not a lot of top dogs to take down. Like, yeah, you got your Arizona State, your Kansas States, now Texas Tech's getting into the mix. But if Coach Prime can't get into like conference championship, that tier, do you think that that's going to be a knock that maybe prevents him from making that jump?
It just depends. It just depends. You got to think back on when he took this job, bro. They had 1 win the year before, and he increased it to 6 wins the following season. Last year they won what, 8 games?
And I think he had to bring in like 80 different transfer portal players that first year.
Right, 80. No, he ain't bringing that many. That's 80 is insane.
I think.
But my 80, bro. You think he brought in 80 people his first year?
I'm going to check it out.
No, hell no. They ain't bringing no 80. That's impossible. Maybe in the 2 years he might have brought in a total of 80. Not in 1 year.
Yeah, this says 42 in the first year, so it must be 86 new players in total.
Yeah. So
because of the freshman class, I think.
Yeah, anybody that understands college football and understands the dynamic of what Colorado program was at before he took over, you know, and it's common sense that what he has done has been remarkable. No, he hasn't been in a 12-team playoff. No, he didn't win conference, but he has made that program relevant. And so I don't think he has to get into the 12-team playoff or win the conference for big schools to come calling. You see the improvement each year. And I think you're going to see even more improvement this following season coming up. He said he's really excited about. Yeah, he's really excited about his team. I don't know if this is just him trying to instill confidence into his guys, but he said he think this team is better than last year's team. So, we'll see. I think he probably going to be around the 8-win, 7-win mark, and I think that's good enough, bro. Because that if Prime is in a position like the head coach of Florida State, man, he gonna get the best of the best, and you ain't got to worry about trying to convince guy to come all the way to Boulder, Colorado, bro. Florida State gonna sell itself, especially at Prime in the head seat.
It'll be interesting to see, because I mean, that's half the battle, getting the players there, but then the other half of the battle is gonna be while they're there, put them in a system to be able to actually succeed, win games, especially in a conference like that. The ACC is not gonna be a huge ramp up, but I mean, I couldn't see him in like a SEC environment instantly getting success. Like, let's say Ole Miss or Florida or somewhere like that. If that popped up, that might be a little bit of a tougher job for him to slide into.
I can't speak on if he would win a natty or what he could create a dynasty if he went to an SEC school. But I could tell you this, bro. He will have a top 3, at worst, top 5 recruiting class in the country every year. If he's at a SEC school like a Florida or Texas A&M, it is what it is, bro. You give Prime them kind of resources, dog, like he gonna knock it out the park. He gonna sell out every ball game. The revenue for the ticket sales and the jerseys and the apparel and everything, the businesses around town, it's gonna go up. It's gonna go up tremendously if Prime is the head coach. Don't ever forget, bro. This is a business, so he doesn't have to win conference and he doesn't have to win a national championship for people to come calling. They know if Prime come in town, what he bring to the table, bro. That's like hiring Beyonce. That's like hiring Michael Jackson. You bring in a showstopper, bro. He box office. Again, I'm not, because people like to take what I say and misconstrue. I'm not saying wherever he gonna win a national championship. But I will tell you this: he will be amongst one of the best in the country if he gets to a landing spot where he has all the resources in place. That's just what he's gonna do, bro. And now he's gonna be able to get even better coaches on his staff. Not saying the coaches he got like at Colorado are bad coaches, but when you at a Florida State or a University of Florida or a blue blood school like that, you gonna get the best of the best. And that's what Prime gonna be able to do, bro. And I think a lot of universities understand that. I think the biggest thing for him is being able to show that his health is in order. If his health is in order, bro, he gonna have a bunch of schools come calling it at season's end.
I'm glad you brought that up. So we're talking about rankings and having the best classes and things of that nature. Let's slide into this next topic. So I've been doing some thinking, and I feel like I've been drinking a lot of Kool-Aid, man. I've been drinking LSU Kool-Aid a hell of a lot. So I had to put it down. I had to kind of be realistic, put my thinkers on. There's times where when you have top classes, whether it be number 1, number 2, number 3, whatever, recruiting, transfer portal, all of them being alike, there's times where the ratings don't produce the results that people would initially expected. We can look at Texas A&M, we can look at Colorado, we can look at Ole Miss. There's a lot of other teams that have been kind of refining their pitch and their roster management systems to lean on the transfer portal, getting in a lot of guys, replacing in key positions. And LSU did that this year, whether it be edge, offensive line, secondary. They got in a lot of new starters. They brought in 18 players total. I would say you could probably expect, 9 to 10 new starters on both sides of the ball when you factor in offensive line, key wide receiver pieces, maybe a Byron Sharp here and there. Then you got 2 new edges. You got 2 to 3 new pieces in the DB room, yada, yada, yada. I say all that to say, do you think that there's a risk that there might be too much change? Like, yeah, you got return in production. I think they're 5th in the SEC, but like, is it a little bit too much, you think?
No, not really. When you think about on offense, what LSU has coming back, Nussmeier has been in the program for 5 years. Caleb Jackson, Caden Durham, they was there last year. Tyree Adams, who's a projected starter, he's going into his 3rd year because I think he's a redshirt sophomore. Weston Davis was in the program last year. DJ Chester was in the program last year. Mabinga was in the program last year. When you talk about the receivers, Chris Hilton been in the program for 5 years. Aaron Anderson, he's going in his 3rd year in the program. Colin Billiard was there last year. Xavier Thomas he going into his 2nd year in the program. So you have a lot of guys that's been there. Then we talk about defense, Jacobian Guillory, Ahmad Bro, Dominic McKinley, Gabe Rutherford, Hal Perkins, Whit Weeks, Ashton Stamps, Devon Keys. I mean, Jordan Gilbert. I mean, I could PJ Woodland. I could name off a ton of players that's been in a program going into either year 2 or multiple years where they gonna have enough continuity. So yeah, they added a lot of guys from the portal, but I don't think that should overtake the culture, right? I think those guys have came in, and the guys that was already there are showing them like this how we do things. Because some guys probably come from some bad coaches, and we talked about it on the podcast with Blake Baker, Corey Raymond, and Joe Sloan. I think those guys that came from bad coaches, they have fallen in line with what Brian Kelly is instilling in all his players. So I don't think this is going to be an issue. The difference between when Jimbo brought that whole overhaul and bought everybody, the 90% of his team was guys from either out of high school or from out the portal, and it just was no culture built. It was none. So I think that's the difference. So I don't see this being an issue with the new guys they bringing in, bro. I really don't.
Because the reason I ask is just, yeah, you got those key, I would say cornerstones of your team in terms of Whit Weeks, Harold Perkins, Garrett Nussmeier, but there's times where, like, we're talking about the most important positions in football being revamped, the offensive line being the first one, and I just was kind of sitting back thinking, being a top 4 team at the very minimum in the SEC, it's going to require some protection. It's going to require getting the edge rushers off of Nussmeier's neck, letting them be able to breathe and distribute that ball to the wide receivers and all the different talent that we keep talking about on that offensive side. And then when you switch over to the defense, like some of the DBs, AJ Halsey, Tamarcus Cooley, Mansour Delane, do you think that, and they're great players, but like not being SEC tested yet, like we're really going to get to see how good they can perform in the fire within the first 4 to 5 weeks of the entire season. Like I'm interested in what we're about to see in fall camp and week 1, and then how much it will kind of transform and be updated and patched as we get to week 4, week 5, week 6. And that's college football in general. But I just want to know, when you have that much of an overhaul, like how do you know exactly what you have to be able to throw out there? Like that's kind of a work in progress, like an experimental phase.
Yeah, that's what fall camp is for. When the bullets get to flying, the the elite players gonna separate themselves from the average players. And so if they got some guys in the portal that might have not been as good as they thought they were, you about to find out on next week or this week, because they report tomorrow.
Yep.
So to me, when I went and looked at everybody's film that they brought in the portal. Some of these guys I already knew about, like Mansour Delane. I've been knowing about Mansour Delane. Mansour Delane is legit, bro. I'm gonna tell you that right now. He's gonna be a really good corner for LSU, especially under Corey Raymond. He's gonna be really good. When you talk about somebody like Tamarcus Cooley, who came from NC State, I think Tamarcus Cooley is not somebody that, and it's just my opinion, I don't think they brought him in to be an impact player, if you will. I think he's going to come in and bring some versatility, being able to play safety and being able to play nickel, which they need that. They need that versatility. So you got to understand, everybody that they brought in is not going to be an impact player. That's just what that is. That's very unrealistic to think. If I had to guess who the impact player is going to be, I would go with Patrick Payton from Florida State. I think he's going to be one of their best edge rushers. I would go with Mansour Delane. I think he's going to be arguably their best DB. I would go with AJ Halsey. When you look at him, what he did at Houston, bro, he was incredible. To be able to move the way he moves at 225, he legit. He legit. When you talk about somebody like Destin Hill, right? And maybe I might be being a little biased because I've been watching him since he was in 10th grade at Edna Carr High School. If Destin Hill is healthy, he's going to be a really good player for LSU. I'm just concerned about the injuries, coming off the torn ACL, and then he fractured his ankle toward the middle of spring. Same thing with Nick Anderson. Nick Anderson is legit. You saw what he did as a true freshman at Oklahoma. Tore his groin last year, set out the whole season. You know what he could do. His health is in question. So the ability is there. It's just the durability part that we trying to figure out. So, Barron Brown, I know a lot of people think Barron Brown's going to be, a first round type of talent on his team. I just don't see it. I hope I'm wrong about that. I think he's going to be somebody that's going to be really good in his offense, though. And he's going to be somebody that's going to make some big plays. But I don't think he's going to be somebody that, catch for 1,000 yards and 70 balls. I don't see that. I think Aaron Anderson is more suited to do that before Barron Brown. That's just my opinion, right? So, and he talk about somebody like Bauer Sharp. He led Oklahoma in receiving, bro, in the SEC. Like, they knew he was getting the ball every game. They knew the game plan was revolved around him, and he still made plays. So you know what you're getting from them guys. Josh Thompson, Braylon Moore, that they brought in from the portal on the offensive line. I think those guys solid at best. Nothing more, nothing less. They're not going. I don't see them coming in and being, Josh Thompson going to be a first round pick. Braylon Moore about to be a first round pick. I think they're just going to be really good, solid veterans on that offensive line. So we just got to fans got to put in perspective on what they expect from everybody. If you're expecting everybody from this portal class to be impact players like that, you're not being realistic.
I'm gonna get you to kind of dig deeper on that Barry and Brown topic. What, like, do you think it's because they have a lot of players in that exact type of role? Do you think it's because you haven't seen much from him on his film? Because I would expect him to have a big year as well. I was interested when you said that.
I think he's gonna have a ton of explosive plays. I just think when you talk about all around pure receiver, I just don't think he has shown in his film at Kentucky that he's an all around pure receiver. Where you look at him and say, this is a first round guy. Nah, he could prove me wrong and show something different this year. I just don't see that on his previous film. I see a guy that could blow the top off of defense. I see a guy that's really, really good in the return game. I see a guy that if he gets a step on you, he could hit his head on the goalpost, bro. That's what I see from him. I don't see. I think Nick Anderson, when you watch his film, he looks more like a pure receiver. When you look at Destin Hill, he looks more like a pure receiver. When you talk about, the whole body of work when you evaluating at that position.
Got some people in the chat. H-Town Creole, main thing on defense, guys on the back end got to be willing to tackle. Other than that, defense was better than average. Flo be talking about LSU's offense being stacked. Nussmeier, Durham, Barry, Brown, Nick, blah, 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 blah. They got about 400 people that we could rattle off. We got some more comments toward the end. Coach Jackson, Coach Michael Jackson, shout out to him. 32 days now until we go into Death Valley Jr. Cool, man. Come on now. Flo be on go mode, bro. He every single time he wakes
He
up.
don't stop. He consistent.
Who y'all think gonna make biggest impact on defense other than Perk and Weeks?
Gabe Rutherford.
Yeah, I would say
Gabe Rutherford.
that's a good addition. I would say him.
Mansour Delane.
I was about to say Jack Pyburn off the edge. That's another good one. But Gabe Rutherford's been a consistent, the common denominator, if you will. Whether you talk to coaches, players, former players, people watching the game, like who's about to take off. I've heard it on repeat. We can make a damn edit compilation of Gabe Rutherford, Gabe Rutherford, Gabe Rutherford.
Mansour Delane is going to give Blake Baker and Corey Raymond the ability to be able to do some things they couldn't do over the last 3 years. Over the last 3 years since Brian Kelly has been there. He's going to be able to, if they need him to lock down one side of the field, he's going to be able to do that, bro. I think he's that good. Watching him in person, like I said, I know about Mansour Delane when he's at Virginia Tech. I really thought he was going to leave and go to the draft because they had it projected going like 3rd round. Some mock drafts had him going 4th round. Usually guys leave, when they have that kind of draft stock.
Yeah, solid day too.
Yeah, but when I watched Mansour in spring, I was impressed. I didn't know he was that big, and to say he's that big and move the way he does, I love this competitive nature throughout spring. I like his mindset. I could tell he's very cerebral. He's a worker. Like I just think he's going to be a really, really good player for him, and I think this is going to improve his draft stock tremendously.
And it's a needed position, especially if you got that versatility that could put you in a bunch of different spots. Because, I mean, when you got all those names, we talked to Corey Raymond about it as well. He said, everybody going to eat. Everybody going to eat. Just whenever you get your opportunity, make sure that you make the best of it. Don't be sitting here complaining about not getting your shot because whenever you're out there, you're going to have to make it work.
And Jaheim Jackson is somebody that could be a sleeper as well. I think we're not talking about him as much because he's been battling an injury. And I think he's not going to be all the way 100% when fall camp starts this week. I think he's somebody that when he gets 100% healthy, he could be really good. Because I think Jaheim Jackson is a guy that's going to get drafted one day. Now, you got to remember, he's still young. I think he's a redshirt sophomore. He still has some time to develop. But I think if he's healthy and he gets his opportunities this season and throughout fall camp, he going to flash, bro. Like, they got a lot of depth in that secondary. They just got a lot of depth. We still talking about people like Micah Turner, too, who is a redshirt freshman this year that Corey Raymond is very high on. He think that if Micah Turner stays the course, he has a chance to be a really, really good DB at LSU one day.
Yep. And then to Jakeem's point, it's that SEC experience. Been around the block in the same exact situation against this type of caliber of competition.
Yep.
H-Town Creole back in the chat saying that Nick Anderson could be the best receiver on the team in terms of Nussmeier's targets. He's got the big frame. He's one of the biggest. I believe he's 6'4". I don't think anybody else is coming in around that. Maybe Kylan Billiot is around 6'4".
Yeah, him and Kylan are the two longest on the team.
I mean, if he does stay healthy, I think that could be one of the bigger X factors as well. I mean, a lot of people are projecting him to start. I feel like who else are you putting in over that spot? Chris Hilton might be the only other person that I think could play. I think he would come in at the X, but I mean, the size is going to be what I'm voting for. But
yeah, Nick gonna have to show that he healthy, bro.
I was about to say that
he barely could finish a spring practice.
The durability on both.
Yeah, kept grimacing with the groin. He had a lot going on, bro, and it's been going on for a long time. Then he just had the car accident not too long ago.
Yeah,
they say he had a severe concussion. He just been having some bad luck. But if he's healthy, bro, I would anticipate that he will be a starter, and he gonna probably be one of Nuss's favorite targets to go to.
And Armani's talking about our thoughts on AJ Halsey. We kind of touched on it a little bit, but I feel like that safety was a key piece when you're talking about what you had to address going into this portal. I think that was like our second priority. Way back into December, we were talking about the safety position. This was one of the biggest gets.
Yeah. So, the touchback on AJ Halsey, if you wouldn't listen to earlier, man, AJ Halsey is about 6 foot and some change. And he's about 225, and he wears his weight really good. And to say he's that big, he moves really, really fluid. Like, dude could move, running around with all that weight on him. Usually, guys that's that heavy, they don't move as fluid. AJ Hawson moves really good, and I think he's going to be a playmaker in that on that back end for him. I think he's going to be somebody that's going to probably end the year with about 3-4 interceptions. I know that might not sound like a high clip, but that's pretty good when
For
you
a
talk
safety?
about making plays in the SEC.
I agree, especially coming in your first year. I mean,
Yeah, because I think he had 8 interceptions last year at Houston.
not bad. Hey, if you bring half of that, that's gonna be
Yeah, man.
night and
We
day
gotta be
difference for MVP
realistic.
takeaways. They needed a boost in that last season. All right, let's punch this segment out real quick. SEC playoff berth odds. Look at this. These are per sportsbookreview.com. These are your odds in terms of college football playoff teams and their chances to get into that 12-man front. I highlighted all the SEC teams for you. If you look in chronological order, number 1, 2, 3, 4, LSU plus 130. Not bad. Not favored, but they got a little bit of value there. I'm going to give you one lock, one long shot, one value pick to be able to take away from this. And then I'm going to let them do the talking. This is the last time I'm preseason odds, ranking, doing anything with the SEC. So y'all better bookmark it and save it right now. Your lock, a lot of people think I'm going to say Texas. I'm going to say Georgia. And here's why. One, I'm going to give you a little bit of value. It goes from minus 400 to minus 278. It might not be a lot, but I think every single point matters. Kirby does not have to do a full rebuild. I know that Gunnar Stockton is not the most experienced player. And I'm not trying to say he's one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. However, he did get to play in the SEC championship game in the college football playoff quarterfinal. And to me,
He didn't play good.
that's some substance. He didn't play good, but you're not starting at ground zero. And I mean, that might not be, a persuading factor for most. But then when you add guys like Dylan Bell around him, Zachariah Branch, Nate Frazier, I feel like he's got the supporting cast to be able to kind of at least have the same production as Carson Beck. And when Carson Beck's in there, they were a college football playoff favorite. That's my lock. What you think? And who's yours?
Yeah, Georgia not a bad pick at all, especially with the guys they brought in from the portal with Zachariah Branch. You forget about Noah Thomas that came from Texas A&M, a big body talk. I think Noah Thomas about 6'3", 6'4", who was really good for Texas A&M. So he gonna have some guy there. And don't forget about Delp and Lucky, the 2 tight ends they got that's really, really good. Nate Frazier was phenomenal last year as a true freshman at running back. So he got some guys and some pieces around him to make his job easier. And then on defense, I think this is what's going to really help Gunnar Stockton out with Bolden from at free safety. They got him a preseason All-American. Daniel Harris and Dalen Everett, the 2 corners coming back. Was Dalen Everett could have went to the draft too and probably got drafted second, third round. He decided to come back, right? Then you got C.J. Allen at linebacker, Wilson at the other linebacker. They got some guys that's coming back on that defense that's really, really good, and they have a chance to get drafted in the top 3 rounds. So I think all that's going to help Gunnar Stockton. So I don't think he's going to have to play superior for them to be in the mix to be able to win the SEC and get into the playoff. But my lock will be LSU, bro. I just got to go with LSU.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I mean, people gonna say I'm biased because I'm from the boot. When I'm really a Michigan fan.
Yeah,
People got I don't think some people realize this in the chat, but I'm a Michigan fan, bro. So when Bryce Underwood decided to decommit from LSU and go to Michigan, I was like not tripping.
Yeah, he was lit.
Yeah, I was tripping, but I just think, man, with Garrett Nussmeier coming back as the returning starter with the weapons they added, with everything they did in the portal on defense, year 4 for Brian Kelly, I just cannot go against him. I think there's going to be a year where people are going to get off Brian Kelly's back because they're going to look that good. This is the most, like everybody keeps saying in all the newspaper clippings and all these different snippets we've been seeing on social media. This is the most talented roster they've had since Brian Kelly has been there. So I just feel like this is the year where they should be a lock. On paper, I don't think there's a team in the SEC that's better than them.
Right.
That's just my opinion. I feel like it's LSU conference of T.
That was my value pick because they got a little bit of plus on there, plus 130. So I'm constituting that as a pick that it's a little, I would say, underrated. I could see LSU being the 3rd highest ranked. I could see why you put Texas and Georgia, but LSU at plus, I'll take it. You got two big question marks, obviously. You got offensive line. And then I'm going to say a little bit of a shocker, but I'll go pass defense comprehensively, getting to the passer, being able to guard against a stack wide receiver room with this new secondary. And I mean, yeah, I feel like they're going to be able to do it. But once you answer those questions, especially if you get a week 1 win, that's my main takeaway. You beat Clemson and start 1-0. Sky's the limit. Everybody's drinking the Kool-Aid. Everybody's Kool-Aid is purple and gold across the country. Quite frankly, that's your biggest obstacle is week 1. Week 1, these odds go from plus 130 G to minus 400 if you get that victory. That's my opinion. That's why I'm going to give you that as my value pick. Now, my long shots, they ain't even make the cut. We gave you 16 teams or something right here. Texas A&M didn't even make the cut. They're like plus 300. That's wild. I said long shot. But out of all the teams, the South Carolinas, the Tennessees, I'm even going to throw the Ole Miss out there. I feel like A&M would have the next best shot. Now, we're talking 4 SEC teams make it in, which it didn't last year. 3 SEC teams made it in. It was Texas, Georgia, Tennessee. If 4 make it in this year, I could see it being Texas, Georgia, LSU, and then that 4th spot's really up to who didn't get affected the most by upsets, injuries, things of that nature. Yeah, Marcel Reed might not be a guy, but going forward, I mean, hey, I'm not going to rule A&M as a team that can't get in there. They're a fringe team for sure. That's why they're a long shot. I'd sprinkle some on there as well. Number 2 returning production in the SEC. Now that might not overwhelm a lot of people. That might not be something that a lot of people take it and they're like, okay, now that's a team that I think can do something. But I'm all for that continuity. That's why I'm worried about the Clemson matchup for LSU week 1. Number 1 returning production in college football. That means something to me because you keep your team together in a world where nobody's teams are kept together. That's why a lot of these teams are question marks because they got so much new faces, new pieces, new additions, new this, new that. And I'm not saying A&M is the method of consistency, but if you got to put a long shot, I'd rather put it on them than, like I said, a Tennessee who's returning an entire new quarterback.
My sleeper pick, I'm torn between Florida and Oklahoma.
Okay, hey, Oklahoma ain't bad.
Yeah, I'm torn between them two, but I'm gonna go with Florida. Got to go with my guy Billy Napier. You know how I feel about DJ Lagway. I think DJ Lagway is a Heisman Trophy candidate. I think he's gonna be the number 1 pick, top 5 pick in the draft in 2027. What he got at receiver, they loaded. I like the running back they got coming back. Can't pronounce his last name. He was number 13 last year, but he's a workhorse. On defense, I like what they got coming back. Year 4 for Billy Napier. A lot of people ain't counting them, ain't picking them to even win 8 games this year. Right. So I think they're gonna be a program that, and even with that tough schedule they got, I think they're gonna surprise some people this year, man. That's my dark horse.
You already know what Floby's talking about in the chat. I don't even got to say it. I don't even got to say it. He came correct this time, though. First off, I'll show the second one first. He said, them bums from Gainesville ain't one of them. Look, he got his list of blue bloods. Like, he came prepared, G, today. This is his reaction. 8 blue bloods. He says Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State, Texas, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Nebraska, USC. Wait. One of them's missing. I'm throwing LSU as a blue blood. I am. They're not up there. What? Come on, give me some words, G. Give me some words, some reaction. Floby, get ready to start typing, fam.
He don't know no better, bro. He don't know no better. He don't know what a blue blood is.
Hey, Stout Creole talking about South Carolina's a team to watch. Front 7 was scary last season.
For sure.
No, definitely. And they're like plus 400. So I feel like that's a hell of a good long shot.
Yeah, for sure. South Carolina is definitely a team that you got to be watching out for. I'm just curious to see if Lenore Sellers is going to take that next step. Last year, he really just was a runner. And he would go through his first read, and if that wasn't open, he was just kind of like making some plays. I got to see him take that next step this year. If he take that next step, being able to go through his progressions and be a better passer, South Carolina going to be hard to deal with.
And everybody's talking about the hype on Arch Manning. I'm not going to lie. I've been thinking that, and in a good way, because I feel the same way, but one of the more hyped quarterbacks in the SEC is Lenore Sellers. We left media days, dog. They voted him the number 1 quarterback, the first team ballot, whatever the little media vote was. They put Lenore Sellers from South Carolina. Like, I think a lot of people are drinking that Lenore's Kool-Aid. He's going to be
I am on the DJ Lagway train.
I know. I know. I
I'm on
like
the DJ
Lenore.
Lagway train,
I
man.
like both of them. I do like I get.
DJ is a more complete quarterback than Lenore Sellers is as of today.
And then to the college football fan though, they love the dialing back and you're watching a Jaden Daniels or a Lamar Jackson or a Cam Newton. They like the mobility, they like the dual threat ability.
DJ Lagway
That's
doing three. What you talking about?
I'm not saying he's not, but Lenore Sellers takes the cake in terms of mobility. I gotta say, you leading your team in rushing, dog.
Lenore
He almost
Sellers
had
is a
1,000 yards.
listen.
DJ Lagway didn't even cross 300.
He's a freak.
He is. I'm just
Lenore
saying
Sellers is
for
a freak, bro. I'm not disputing none of that. But when you talk about the total makeup of a quarterback, running, throwing, size, everything, DJ Lagway is a more complete quarterback as of today. Now, Lenore Sellers, he might change my mind when it's around week 5, week 6 in the season. But I gotta see him improve as a passer, bro. You can't just think you're just gonna be pull it down and run, and that's gonna be your staple, and you're gonna be considered a top quarterback in the country.
I do remember people saying this about Jaden Daniels. So I'm giving them the opportunity because I
Jaden
feel like
Daniels, he was the same. Yep, Jaden Daniels was the same way his first year. You're right, and
I
he
feel like
improved. And he improved tremendously in that second year as a passer. That's what just took the cake. Everybody knew. Everybody knew once if Jaden Daniels had ever took that step throwing the ball, you knew it was over, and that's what you saw. That's why he won the Heisman.
and I think Lenore's could be in that same boat, and that's why the attention's getting all on him. Like, yeah, Arch Manning,
Nah,
he's tried to
you
post
got,
the child for hype because of the
but
name, but
the
because of like
difference is
talent
this though.
and potential, I think Lenore's is getting there.
But it's a difference. The difference is Jaden Daniels played, I think, 2, maybe 3 years at Arizona State.
Yeah, he
Right?
was like 25 when he got drafted.
Yeah, and then he transferred to LSU and was there 2 years. Bro, he had 5 years of experience. So, and I'm not, and when I said it, I'm not knocking Jaden. I'm
No,
just
I know.
saying it's just a difference. Lenore Sellers, that was his first year starting ever in college as a freshman. So he's going into his second year. I just think you can't compare what Jaden Daniels did in his second year starting for LSU because he had prior experience at Arizona State. Lenore Sellers, I don't think he's going to make that much of an improvement in year 2. I think you're going to see an improvement, but not that much to what you saw what Jaden Daniels did.
No, it's just similar in my take of people with the scrutiny of him being a solely like all he brings to the table is the running. Like that's what I'm bringing up, the comparison. Because I mean, I feel like he's got the ability to be able to do both. It's just more so everyone's fixated on the fact that you almost have 1,000 rushing yards. You're leading an SEC team who is turning over as one of the more I'm not gonna say top teams in the SEC, but they're not the joke that they were in Columbia.
South Carolina is definitely somebody you don't want to play on your schedule. When you see them, you like, oh Lord. Especially if you got to go to Columbia. Whew.
Especially last year when LSU gets saved by that, not saved, but that penalty does change every single thing in the game.
They got saved. They got saved.
It's a bad taste in my mouth. I'm gonna give you the floor. Let's talk about oh Lord, someone's saying he beat LSU with one hamstring last year. Oh, Floby. Hey, Floby got smoke in the chat. Oh, Lord, someone's going at Floby's head. Floby put in this. He said that stop with the Lagway talk, yada, yada. And now somebody else is going after him saying, stop being a casual. Lagway's top 5. Now they're going back and forth. He said, nah, it's just the truth. Floby, you found someone that had time today, boy. I love to see it. All right, G. Let's switch gears. Let's keep the main thing. Let's lock in. CFB 26. Soapbox moment. What are you changing?
All right. They putting these patches on the game, I think, every week or every 2 weeks and updating it, right? EA, please, for the life of me. Somebody send an email, somebody get on a call. If you know somebody, they need to make a few changes to this game, bro. I love the game, by the way. I'm a huge fan. And I know you can't be perfect, but goddamn, we got to change a couple things. Number one, the stiff arm is horrendous. Like, the stiff arm is ridiculous on this college 26, bro. Like, you can stiff arm 3-4 people in one play, and it's just very unrealistic. And especially if you got a running back like Dylan Edwards, who was the running back at Kansas State, who was one of the best running backs on the game. Dog, he can stiff arm the damn all 11 people on defense if you want.
Bruh.
They got to change that. The second thing they need to change is too many times when you're on defense, especially in the fourth quarter when the game close, your defenders are getting confused. I don't know what it's come from. I don't know why they added this part to the game. And look, I understand. In real life, sometimes they do get confused. They forget what their responsibility is. You might not hit a call. I get it. But it's happening too frequently on College 26. This has costed me like 2 games this year. And it pissed me off. And I'm not the only one it's happening to. They got to change that about this college football. You got to change it. Got to change. It's going too far. It's going too far.
Mandatory. Somebody in the chat talking about stop the cheese blitzers.
See, I can't attest to that because I play real football. I don't get on TikTok and YouTube and try to get all these little glitches to have an advantage. I play real football. I play real football. I don't do all that.
Jesus, wild. Look,
Yeah.
I haven't played that much CFB 26. I'm sitting on some ultimate team points. I'm waiting for him to drop some 90s, some 93s. I'm gonna go out there, polish the team up. I started my road to glory. I kind of been in and out. I've been on that MetaQuest box and G. I've been throwing my back out though. I've been throwing them left hooks, getting around. I got tore up, bro. The last fight that I was in, I got knocked out in the 4th round, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
Lord.
I got back up. Come on. Keep pushing. Keep stacking. I'm gonna have to get on that CFB 26. I'm a cat in the chat saying 26 is broke AF. I don't want to hear that. He's saying it's just shit. I don't know, bro. Lots of
agree with that.
TikTokers on CFB.
Lots of what?
Lots of TikTok ballers. He said, look at Lagway. One thing Lagway is good at is spot the ball. There's a Lagway hater right here. Look, I'll be on record. I do think DJ Lagway will have a great season. I'm not a DJ Lagway hater. I'm not. I'm interested as to why Floby's taking this stance. Maybe he's putting his troll cap on.
He don't understand, bro. I just told you that. Floby don't understand, man.
Penn State the best on 26. G no. Oh, wait, hold up. What's this? Is this some inside knowledge? Did you get beat by Penn State recently?
That must be Byron in the chat.
Did you get beat by Penn State recently? Is that what he's talking about?
I think he did beat me with Penn State. I think he did.
Shout out Byron. Shout out Byron, man.
Now Byron can play. He one of the best ones I done played. He one of the best ones I done played.
He's saying
I want to say my record. I want to say my record against him is 2-3.
Oh, we got you. Okay.
Or maybe it might be 2-2, something like that. But yeah, we got a running back though. We got a running back.
Say running back can't get it over with. Go back with Michigan. What's the worst team you play with before we get out? Worst team you play with. We talking about the best teams. What's the worst team?
I played with a lot of teams, bro. Probably Michigan State. I tried to play with them against dude named Sean Reddick, who was horrible, by the way. I played in with Michigan State and he barely beat me. Yeah, so that probably was the worst team I played with. I thought I could pull it off. I needed to have some humility and not play with a team like that.
Best team?
Best team probably is out of LSU, Penn State. For me, Miami. That's probably the 3 best teams to me on the game. For what I do and what I like to do, my scheme on offense and defense, Miami, LSU, and Penn State. That probably be the 3 best. Like if I'm about to play for some bread, I'm gonna play with one of them 3.
So are you picking balance? Or are you picking strictly for offense, strictly for defense?
No, I'm picking for balance. I'm picking for balance. Yeah, and all 3 of those teams have balance. They have some good running backs, good receivers, good offensive line, good quarterback. Defense, they really good up front on the line, linebacker, secondary play, So all 3 of those teams, they really don't have too many flaws.
All right. Before we hop out of here, I'm gonna give Floby one more moment in the sun. One more moment in the sun. He said, "Don't hate DJ Lagway. He just doesn't think he's that good." And then this explains it. He said his Florida friends glazed the hell out of him, so he's getting tired of hearing it. I guess he's on record. Look, he got some of the blame off of him. So now if DJ it does good, he can reflect back to this moment. He's like, "Oh, nah, I never said I hated him."
Floby got a lot to learn.
I respect the game.
He
Floby,
got a lot
hey,
to learn.
tap in Wednesday, Floby. We need you. We need you to react to some of these topics. So fall camp starting back up. I don't know exactly if we get. I think the first day for media might be Wednesday. Don't quote me on that. I don't know when, but whenever it is, we'll be there
I
getting
forgot
the
to.
highlights. What up?
I didn't apply for my credentials.
You got till today? Go ahead, hurry up. Send the email. But we'll react to everything.
Or I might just walk out there and be like, "What up?"
Was good. Tip the cap.
What's good? What's good, Mike? What up, Mike? What up, BK? What it do?
Y'all stay tuned for the fall camp coverage. We're gonna be doing the highlights and we're gonna be doing a film review. We're gonna be taking you onto the field, little glimpses into the team, what we like, maybe what we don't like. Hopefully, there's not a lot of that though. I'm feeling good this fall camp. This is like they said, one of the best rosters they got. So, theoretically, this could be one of the best fall camps that we've ever seen. I don't know, to be determined, but we'll be there breaking it down Wednesday at 1 p.m. Y'all stay tuned. Floby, go take a break, dog. Go take a break. Watch some DJ Lagway film, and then come back with a new approach. Let's see what we thinking later. Y'all have a good one.